Thank you, Lubman Frank, for the beautiful music that inspires our hearts and delights our being. Good morning to every one of you. I am so pleased that you are here today, for we are blessed with your energy, with your love, with your attention and intention. And we know right here and right now, all is well and perfect, that everything that needs to be accomplished is in divine order and in divine love. As the technician places the first slide that I asked him to on the screen, I would like for you to know that I am continuing with May's monthly theme. Today's talk title is Listening with Your Heart. This precious photo grabbed my heart so much that I wanted to share it with you today because there was a preciousness about it. For the image of this kid and his toy animals, each with face down and body on the prayer rug, helps me to recall several wonderful experiences. Oh, I remember when I was about the same age of this child. I can see the scene now. I'm kneeling on the floor next to my bed, hands together in prayer mode, and nearby my handmade wire dolls. That is, dolls made of milk bottle wires that were atop the bottle that the milkman delivered, with embroidery thread colored hair and dressed in colored Kleenex garments. All were placed around me, all surrounding me, and a lighted candle on the table next to me. Beloved, I was engaged, listening, trying to hear, longing to commune with the big God. The big God I thought lived in the sky far, far, far above me. This photo also reminds me of times, many, many years later, when I visited a mosque here in Oakland with my son's father, a member of the Nation of Islam, and a staunch follower of Malcolm X. Yes, I recall standing in the back of the room with the women as we could see the men, like this child in this photo, humbling themselves before Allah. This photo also reminds me that these memories are quite timely. For this year, from April 23rd to May 23rd is Ramadan, a time when Muslims fast each day during the daylight hours, during the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. This holy month celebrates the time when Allah, through the angel Gabriel, revealed the first verses of the Quran, the holy book of Islam. So as that image is removed, I would like for you to take a moment and listen as I share with you the introduction of this Holy Quran that I have that describes some of the Prophet Muhammad's experience as he was moved to write the Holy Quran. In the introduction, it describes the stunning experience that he had, this chosen one, from listening with his heart. Listening with his heart. Let me tell the story my way. About 610 AD, in a small cave within Mount Hira, which is a few miles away from Mecca, the well-beloved merchant trader Muhammad would go to the cave for hours and hours and hours at a time, sometimes with his wife Khadijah, and other times he would go by himself. He prayed. and adored his creator. He prayed and adored his creator. He prayed and adored his creator. For 2 long years, he prayed and adored his creator. Then behold, a dazzling vision of beauty, of light, overpowered his senses. This unlettered man heard, Agra, read. And he humbly said, I can't read. Proclaim, he said, I can't read. Recite, he said, I can't read. Muhammad's mission was made clear, however, as he was filled with divine ecstasy and terror. This went on for a period of time, and when he was able to come back to himself, the Prophet Muhammad sought his wife Khadijah. And the introduction to the Holy Quran says, she understood and comforted him. Oh, beloveds, perhaps some of you have had the experience or could anticipate such an experience of having an awesome revelation and feeling at once terror and at once elated. But that surely was the experience of the Prophet Muhammad. And I recalled this morning, actually, that was some of my experience without the drama of such a revelation when I was taking Dr. Margaret Storks' Science of Mind 2 class that at that time was 36 months, all year long. And in the middle of that class, we were reading a parable, and it came to me that my inner desire to marry a minister must be fulfilled by me becoming one. I was petrified. Something in me said, this is what you're to do. And I didn't want to do it. Oh, have you had that experience where something in you begins to say, go this way, and you're trying to tell it, no, I'm not ready. But somehow the Prophet Muhammad's persistent desire to fulfill what Spirit had in store for him, Allah had in store for him, enabled him to go forth and do what he was to do, to dictate the Holy Quran, which he did for 25 years. Today, let us honor Muslims, let us honor Ramadan, let us honor the Prophet Muhammad, who opened to his divine calling, inspiring Muslims and all throughout the world with Islamic precepts and practices. Now, our Science of Mind founder, Dr. Holmes, says something about this kind of experience that the Prophet Muhammad has when he said, the divine mind has placed an inner guide at the center of everyone's being, an intuition which causes us to feel with complete certainty that everything will be all right if we could but know the whole story and understand its meaning. You see, beloveds, here Dr. Ernest Holmes is inviting all of us to see the very power within the Prophet Muhammad is within you and within me. Life is inviting us to listen with our hearts. Now, did you know? The first sense to be developed in the embryo as it is growing in the womb is sound. The first sound an embryo hears is the mother's heartbeat. The heartbeat, the voice of the heart, is primal, for it is wisdom and guidance of the universe and the divine. It is forever speaking, guiding, imparting itself to, through, and as each one of us. Forever speaking and guiding us, just as with the Prophet Muhammad, when we listen, when we pay attention, as we hear the call, upon our lives. And I ask you, what is life calling you to pay attention to? What is life calling you to be, to do, to reveal? Listen, listen. For we recognize that this primal call is ever within us. And I had a joyful moment when my youngest son was an infant. I recall he seemed to have a memory of that listening to my heart in the womb. For when I held him in my arms, I just noticed that he always tried to find some place on my body where he could feel that rhythm of my heart. And he always put his hand on that. I trust that maybe it was soothing to him. I trust that he was learning to listen with his sense of feel as my heart was pounding. Well, as I conclude this whole thought related to listening with the heart, focused on the development of the Holy Quran, as I close my Quran, I was so pleased. I happened to open to the inside cover of the book, and here was Happy Mama's Day, Mom, signed by my children's father and my two sons, way back May 12th, 1985. What a joy I had sensing this Mother's Day gift from so long ago and experiencing it again right now. But it also helps me to remind myself and to remind you, as has been stated earlier today, we're here honoring Mother's Day. Now, in the past, when Oakland Center for Spiritual Living's members and friends were all in the same sanctuary, we honored moms, grandmoms, great-grandmas, and great-great-grandmas by asking them to stand up, asking while we clapped our hands in celebration of their gifts of time and commitment and service to caring their own and other children, nurturing them and nurturing our cultures into form and experience. We offered them flowers on Mother's Day to show our appreciation. And since we're sheltering in what Reverend Sally calls sheltering in grace, and not able to see one another and not able to see the mothers and have them stand before us, I want to invite all moms, stepmoms, caretakers of children to take time in the silence, just a few moments. As you breathe deeply, let us cherish your energy. Let us cherish your splendid faces and places and sacrifices and compassionate concern, while bringing forth, nurturing, and guiding the new generation to be strong, the new generation to be talented, the new generation to be intelligent, the new generation to be caring, family members, cultural community members, national and worldwide citizens. Let us give thanks to you and give thanks to yourself. For one of the best ways to be a good caretaker and mom, I think, is first taking care of you. At this time, I also would like to honor first responders, who may also be moms, many of them. For during this challenging pandemic, I've been very aware by watching the news, the very serious activity that they are doing all day long for multiple hours and then going home to nurture their own families, and some not even going home because they don't want to accidentally pass on COVID-19 to members of the family. We thank you so much for nurturing all who deserve your healing support and your sense of wholeness that you bring to the caregiving, whether it's in the home, whether it's in a nursing center, or another form of caregiving, we want to honor you this day. This Mother's Day, let us also honor all of you who are caregivers, whether or not you are moms. Listening to and acting from the heart is possible for everyone. And I love that quote by Gary Zukav that reminds us an authentically powered person lives in love. Love is the energy of the soul. Love is what heals the personality, says Zukav. There is nothing that cannot be healed by love. There is nothing, my beloveds, that cannot be healed by love. There is nothing but love. And as the technician puts up the second slide that I want you to see, I want you to be reminded that we live in a world that provides us with many opportunities to distract ourselves from life. But unfortunately, many of us also get away from the practice of listening to our heart, to our true voice, which is the voice of our own soul of love. There are a few individuals, I think, who have modeled loving and compassion, and one of them created this very image that you have before you. Well, this slide shows a Minecraft creation of the UC Berkeley's Campanile. Well, as I looked at this and other images that were shown, I recall that some time ago, perhaps 2 years ago, my then 13-year-old grandson showed me how he could use gaming technology to build houses and villages using the gaming platform of Minecraft. So how surprised I was to discover the Berkeley KGO newsletter announced what this young man was doing, a student at UC Berkeley, by web gaming platform Minecraft. You see, those that intently engage for hours with their computer technology, creating huge structures, and that's what he was doing. These brilliant ones who ordinarily find themselves in their own worlds remote from others, shifted into a new experience. For doing this experience, I was delighted to find out that when they discovered that the students at UC Berkeley, because of the sheltering in place, were not going to be able to have their graduation celebration, this young man decided that he was going to try to recreate more of the buildings at UC Berkeley. And he began to do replicas of, say, the gate, replicas of the stadium, other replicas. And I guess he must announce this on whatever network computer gamers have, or gaming creators have, because he started sharing some ideas that he had, and pretty soon somebody that was in his class that he did not know began to help him create some of the buildings at UC Berkeley. And before he knew it, he had over 60 to 100 people throughout the nation and the world that were participating with him in creating these wonderful structures to show all of the different buildings at UC Berkeley. Now, the reason that I was delighted, because his intention began to shift from his own intended purpose, which was just in entertaining himself, to deciding that he wanted to do replicas of the entire UC Berkeley campus so that he would be able to work with others to create a virtual graduation place for students who were not going to be able to use UC Berkeley as their place of graduating. I thought, how good is this? Surely this is love in action. Not only the love energy that drew a greater number of people to help with the task, but also the intention of making an environment that students could celebrate their time of transitioning away from the university. All of us have opportunities to take something that may be ours personally to expand, to serve others. Loving through listening with the heart showed up in another way. I think I just need to let you know that during my new sheltering in space, I have a spiritual practice of perusing Facebook. I happened upon a Zoom meeting of the Houston Black psychologists, and there I paused to listen. Now, as a former member of the Bay Area Black psychologists, I guess I was intrigued, and I did not belong to the group, but I just happened upon their Zoom meeting. How great it was to begin hearing them talk about ways families have opportunity to support middle and high school age and senior high school age kids while they're sheltering at home. You know what a puppy acts like when his or her master whistles, the ears perk up. My attention was like the ears perking up when I heard this, because I'm a grandma with high school grandkids, and I was drawn to what it takes to what the Houston Black psychologists call Zola up on them, to Zola up on them. After discovering that Zola means love, I text members of the organization and I said, so what does that mean and where did the word Zola come from? I was so pleased. Within less than a day, I had a response that said that Zola up on them is a traditional self-healing practice of the African Kikongo, a practice of caring, a practice of sharing, a practice of healing. Someone offered to Zola up on these children using the example that I want to share with you. For they began talking about the fact that instead of kids, while they're moving around the house, going to the refrigerator, getting snacks all day long, and back to the computer games all day long, isolating themselves from being with and connecting to family members, they thought to Zola up on them would be to invite them to return to a joyful family preparing meals together activity. Not where they're just getting instructions for how to do this or how to do that, but rather it was delightful to hear that they were using their time together to sing songs, time together to tell family stories, time together to play family games, to engage in family bonding, not every day, because we don't want to take them away from the technology that so fills their heart and the way they connect with their own peers, but to be able to have time with family is a way to Zola up on them. And so I was delighted to hear about that and began thinking that I had done something just recently with 3 of my grandchildren, I only have 3, that I thought was a form of Zola up on them. For weekly, we have our meditation club. I invited them the first time, but from then on, I asked them to tell me when we should meet and even how long or what music we should use or whether we should chant or whether we should be in the silence. I think Zola up on them is a way of showing love to family members. And one of the ways that I also did it, because we're on Zoom right now, is to invite family members in different parts of California and in Florida to Zoom with me. I call myself Zola up on them, as we had no agenda for our time together, but we just chatted back and forth about anything that we wanted to say for about 45 minutes. And the children dropped in every once in a while, but we enjoyed being with one another. Zola up on them. The final example that I want to share with you showed up as spirit expressing itself, illuminated by South African Ubuntu. According to what I was reading about this, in certain regions of South Africa, when someone does something wrong, she or he is taken to the center of the village and surrounded by the tribe for 2 full days. They speak of all the good things the person has done. for they believe each person is good and that sometimes they make mistakes, which is really a cry for help. The community unites in this ritual to encourage the person to reconnect with his or her true nature. The belief is that unity and affirmations have more power to change behavior than shame and punishment. Vutu is something that we have an opportunity to express and share with members of our family in our own ways. Yes, my beloveds, listening with the heart is an invitation to find the sweet spot of quieting the mind and listening with your heart. To listen to that primal rhythm of life, to feel it pulsating in the songs of the universe, the one song singing just for you, revealing its wisdom through and as you. What is its message? Oh, beloveds, listen with your heart. Let us take this to prayer, and blessed be. Come with me now as we take a moment to go within, as we relax our shoulders, as we relax our minds, as we relax our thoughts. Let us know right here and right now that we are here to listen with our hearts, to listen to our hearts, to begin to notice what seems to want to be spoken through and to us that wants to be revealed on this earthly plane. Let us give thanks that right here and right now that we have been called to moments such as this, to be able to notice what our life is calling us to be about, as well as to provide love from us to the world, to our immediate family, to our neighbors, to all throughout the entire nation and world that deserve the energy of our own collective and individual affirmative thinking, strong feelings of joy and peace and harmony, and behaviors that are in harmony with all of that. Oh, this day, let us give thanks for this month's nonprofit partner, Casting for Recovery. This wonderful group that is providing healing inspiration outdoor retreats for women with breast cancer at no cost is doing a marvelous, marvelous service, and we give thanks for them. We give thanks for their intention and thanks for our appreciation of them by the donation that our church has given them and that we individually have opportunities to give as well. We also give thanks for our planet Mother Earth, where we have gratitude for her beauty, her resilience, and our increasingly mindful stewardship of her. And how good it is to notice that as we are sheltering within, that the skies seem clear where there was smog and fog. How good it is to see that nature is coming forth with bountiful plants and beauty among people. Oh, I give thanks right here and right now that this activity that seems so horrifying to many of us, we know are blessing our entire planet with good. As we bless the families who are losing beloveds through this pandemic, we know that something new is taking place that brings forth a new way of being, a new way of seeing, a new way of loving, a new way of connecting with one another, far exceeding anything that we've ever experienced before. And we give thanks for this. Right now, I take this moment to bless our youth here at the OCSL and bless the youth of our world, knowing that they are wonderfully guided by the loving mind and heart of Spirit. Blessing all of those in service, creating the world that works for everyone. And now, as I specifically bless those who are asking for love and comfort, I certainly want to invite you to say to yourself the names of people that you would like to add to this blessing, for it will enfold them into the energy field of our prayer. For we know that the energy that I am revealing right now is magnetic and is showering all over throughout the entire city, the nation, and the world. So we offer love and comfort and healing for those impacted by challenges in whatever form. And we accept the highest good for Marcy Thomas, for Mike and Mary, for Marguerite Tan, and for Ellsworth Lear. All those impacted by the COVID-19, the home environment of our own beloved Pat Rambo in her Bay Area Health Center. We embrace and surround Margaret Chan with love. And for those who have made transitions, may there be peace and comfort for them as they travel on into an expanded image and experience of their energy without flesh. We bless Janine Perry and family as they are releasing their father, Ed. We also bless Justin Robalas, the relative of John Roselle and family. Knowing that some people have historically put prayers in the prayer box, and since we do not have one here, I invite you to know that the word is being spoken on your behalf when practitioners who meet on a regular basis know that you are having a request. And we are accepting right here and right now that if your heart is burdened or full of joy, we want to celebrate it by accepting wholeness, perfect health, and healing right here and right now. For this and so much more, I joyfully give thanks, as I lovingly release this word unto the law, accepting right here, right now, it is done. Right now, will you join me in saying with me, from wherever you are, even with muted mics, and so it is.